Hello guys, it's Sharif with Engadget, and this is the Samsung Galaxy camera. The weird and wonderful Galaxy camera. Weird in the sense that it is a chunky, hefty, compact camera with a 21x zoom lens, a decent sized sensor for a compact. This is it up against the Galaxy S3, which has a similar sized screen. You can see it's a lot thicker. So it is a camera. It's not trying to be a phone in terms of its form factor, but unlike most compacts, it has a micro SIM slot, which is one interesting way of connecting to the internet to, for example, share your photos. You could use this as a Skype phone, for example, because you have a mic there. On one of these sides here, you have the speaker, and it actually functions quite well for that. But actually that isn't the most interesting thing about this camera. The most interesting thing is that it's running full-fledged Android Jelly Bean on this really fast quad-core Exynos processor. And that is what changes this from a regular compact. It's the ability to, say, customize your widget so you can have previous photos you've shot scrolling past, your friends' photos. You can have the apps you use right up front, Instagram, Dropbox. Everything you can do on Android you can do here. And if we think about connectivity, in fact, the micro SIM slot might not be the smartest way. If you have to get a dedicated data plan for the micro SIM, that might not be the smartest way to get your shots off here in the first place. If you don't mind a little bit of hassle, you could use the micro SD card in there. Just switch that out to your, say you have a smartphone with a micro SD slot in it. You could just do all of your work on your phone, which will have its own data connection. Equally, if I pull this down here, we can see that we have Wi-Fi, which includes Wi-Fi Direct, Bluetooth, which is slow but sort of reliable, and also, of course, you could tether it. So if you have a MiFi, you could just use Wi-Fi to tether to your MiFi, so you don't need a dedicated plan. Just very quickly, I'll show you how convenient Wi-Fi Direct is. If I go into Gallery, pick a video, and pick a sharing option. Oh, actually, Wi-Fi Direct is the one I used last, so we just tap there. It's found my Galaxy S3. Let's choose that. So let's accept the file over here. Connected. Waiting to send. We should get a message here. There we go, it said it was downloading it, receiving. That's a short video file, but it really gets transferred at a decent clip. So, there are many ways of getting your stuff off this camera, but on the other hand, if you do that, you won't be sort of using Android on the same device that you just took your photos with. And that's what is really special about this. You'll find that after a day's shooting, you'll be on the train heading home or whatever, and you'll be sharing your photos, retouching your photos, and just spending more time with them than you may otherwise have done if there was any more hassle in your workflow, if it took any hassle to take the photos off. While we're looking at the software, I'll go into the camera app and I'll just get something to look at, and I'll just quickly show you the different modes. So these are just shutter releases for video and stills. The replacement for that. Here we can select the mode. It's nice and simple, this interface, and easy to use on the big touch screen. Here we've got auto mode. We have smart mode, which has a whole different bunch of ways to tell the camera what kind of shot you're trying to achieve. Stitching modes, continuous shooting modes, macro. That's actually really useful. It may look bewildering, but it's easy to get to grips with. And then over here, expert mode, which is basically full manual, which if you switch to, say, full manual or more likely something like aperture, you'll see that it fills up a lot of the screen with these dials, and it's actually hard to see your subject then. And when you make a choice, that's when it disappears and you can see your basic settings up there. It's powerful, but I tended to use the smart mode the most, actually. That's the camera, the main camera controls, but up here we also have some more settings. Here you can access sort of your main photo size and sharing options and general stuff like GPS tagging. Also you can have voice control on here. Let's give that a go. I didn't use this at all, sort of day to day, but let's try it. Let's try record video. So let's go back here. Record video. Record video. So it can work, but are you really gonna? I guess for remote control, it may come in handy if you can get it to work. We'd expect to do a lot of shouting. So let's stop that. Very quickly, a quick look at the gallery app. I've already shown you the different sharing options, but that's just the start of it. If I go to a different photo instead of a video, let's go up to a different higher level folder. Pick a different shot. Samsung's gallery app is really quite powerful. Has face tagging in there, so you could just search for people. It's very easy to tag people's faces, and it's quite effective. But that's just the start. So if I click here, a whole bunch of different options. Can set it as a favorite, rotate it, crop it, rename it, check the details, and I can edit it using one of the bundled apps. But of course, since this is Android, I could have PixArt. I could use any app that I want to edit my photos. So that brings us towards the end of this video review, but I can't really end without mentioning the downside to all of this. We've already seen that the SIM slot is extraneous, perhaps an unnecessary expense, but more than that, at £400, maybe $700 in the US, this just is very, very overpriced for a compact. Perhaps if it was this versus a regular compact, then it would make a lot of sense, because you'd say, well, I'll spend a bit more, pay a premium to get Android on my camera. But when you're paying as much as, say, full-fledged photography-focused cameras just to get a compact, then that may put a lot of people off. If they could shrink the screen maybe, get rid of the SIM slot to save some money, make it smaller and cheaper, then this would be a great device. As it is though, it's proof of principle that Android on a camera is a lovely thing to have. That's it. Thanks for watching. Check out the full review at Engadget. Bye bye.